Hey, welcome. All my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in my lab on the Sunday, doing what I do for you. We're going to talk a little bit about God. And right thinking philosophy is what I call God science. Let's talk about it. Should be interesting. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rule to live by. Storyteller, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking, mission, excuse me, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? Well, when I get through, that's what I do. It's rhetorical. But if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself and to Maya, be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about how right thinking philosophy is God's science. I can prove to you God exists in you. Not just exists, he proved that, but you need to know he's in you too. All right, that's this lesson. Let's go see if I can get you to be more understanding of where God is. And yeah, he do exist. Right thinkers, philosophy is I call God science. Why? Because it's the way to prove God exists for all those who non-believers or some ignorant believers who don't know they, who they are. Okay? If you're ignorant of who you are, you don't know God and you don't know yourself. Okay? God is all, yes, but how can you prove it? Y'all say that I hear y'all, God is this, God, all those attributes of God. I know, I understand that. But y'all think God is human. Y'all think God is so a misinterpretation, not a misunderstanding. But I can prove that God exists by what? Living right and receiving only something that God can give to you. Blessings that only you need. A blessing for me is for me. A blessing for you is something that you need. So how would he know the difference and to bless me what I need and bless you what you need? Because he's in each one of us, and so he knows what we deserve a blessing. It ain't an accident, okay? To get that, I just got lucky. No, you did something right, and every now and then, a blind squirrel got a nut every now and then. Okay, a bad person can do something good, stumbling on a good situation. They just just did it, and it ended up being good. They probably weren't even intended. So understand that it could happen by luck. But God recognized the good deeds. That's my point. And in order to do that for every individual, he can't be up high. He can't be out there in the heavens and the clouds looking down at. We got over 9 billion people on this planet. He can't look at everybody. He got the eye. That's why he put the pineal gland in our head. What? That's the tag for all his creation. He can get in touch with all of us. What? With the pineal gland. Did you know that? I didn't like that lesson I gave it a while ago. Then still ain't got over that. I thought that was a good lesson, but obviously y'all didn't. Moving on. All right. God is the total control. God has total control over what? Over everything, the universe, all living creatures. But he gave man, what? Consciousness, a brain. To what? To identify himself with who? With God. What? To know himself consciously. Okay? Remember, God made man so that what? Man can make God. Well, if God's God, he don't need man. Au contraire, mon frère. Okay? I've been listening and listening and hearing other people's perspective about the soul. They say earth is the soul prison and all that. They got their concepts. And I got a philosophy that, a little different. But they say man made God. Why? We got the desire to worship what? A worship gene that they put in us. To worship something other than yourself. Not outside yourself, okay? But consciously realizing what you worshiping is inside you. That's the key. And that's how the game is played. He said, now where could I put me, that man, and he figured out in the heart of man. All right. But man becomes what? God like because of the powers that he invested in us with consciousness. Be able to think. I'm trying to get you to think right. And God gave me my spiritual knowledge. And because of my spiritual knowledge, my job is to what? To teach those ignorant ones about him and how to get to him. Philosophically, metaphorically, but I'm a teacher, not a preacher. So I'm not here to tell you, oh, Reggie, oh, God, no. I'm trying to tell you, if you do certain things, God will recognize what? Good deeds, good actions, I read, and he ever deal with you accordingly. I teach the science of what, God? They call it theurgy. The beginning, the starting with what? From the physical, from spiritual to the physical, aka right thing philosophy, try to break it down, let you know from spirit comes matter, and from matter we go back to spirit. Spirit to matter is God's gift to us. Us becoming from spirit back from matter back to spirit is our gift to him, which is purified. So what he gave us and we tarnished it. So we gotta bring it back what? Purified. That's the job here as human beings. I'm trying to get that point across. I call what I do teaching. Spiritual knowledge. God is spirit. I'm giving you to try to teach you God knowledge. I'm a spiritual philosopher. So I give you information that you can use. And giving you scientific proof in God's existence. I ain't got to ask you to believe what I'm telling you. No, you ain't got to believe nothing. I tell you, find out for yourself. I want you to have your God experience, so you ain't got to worry about what Brother Wright said. God is it, so he could do it. He tells truth. Don't mean jack. I'm telling the truth about God from my perspective and my knowledge. You got to get your own. You can believe in God, and a lot of people do. That's the start. I keep telling you, believing is the way to get you started. That means you really ignorant of God, aka and yourself. But once you start studying, once you start practicing what you're studying, proficient in what you're learning, you'll know God for yourself. That's my point. And a believer in God is harder to teach than what? A non-believer in God. That belief means that you don't lock out all information contrary to what you believe, so you can't learn. Believers can't learn. They stuck on belief. And the ones who give you that belief know that. Hint, hint. So they keep you stuck in belief. The non-believer can be shown and proven what? Facts that God exists and what? He'll have to acquiesce. He cannot believe what he wants, but you can't argue facts. And proof does just that. But if you're a believer, and no matter how much proof and facts I give to you, and you believe in what you believe, I'm not going to change your belief. I can't. Why? That's up to you to do. That ain't my job. Okay? But that die-hard believer in Jesus Christ as God is the hard nut to crack. Why? They have been going to believe. When they like that, regardless, it don't make a difference. Leave them be. That's all I can tell you. That's the best advice for you. Now, the study of theory is the science of the beginning, God's, where it comes from the concept perspective. We know that. And there are ways to prove of what? The existence of God. Look around. God, look up. That thing that's in the sky. That's the Son of God. The S-U-N, not the S-O-N. Get the concept? It didn't create itself. Moving on. But the God self created, yeah, the invisible spirit. Okay. He got to put the proof of his existence by what? Making something visible to represent him. That's the sun. Okay. Now, and to prove that God exists, of the existence of God, that's in you, that's my job as the right thinking philosopher to make that point known to you. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. But remember, science is the way of proving that the existence of God in you. That's the right thing philosophy goal to get you to understand that for yourself. Yeah, I can prove, even to those, I can prove that God, you religious people believe in, is also inside you too. But they tell you what? He's up high, looking down low. But the God that they talk about, let me explain it to you right quick. Ignorant believers in God, from the biblical aspect, excuse me, won't change what they believe. No matter what you tell them, what proof you give them, leave them be. Don't waste your time on that. But I can prove, if you're a Christian, Muslim, or Jew, that your ignorant belief out and use, excuse me, your ignorant, take your belief system out and use, take your ignorant belief out of the picture and use your intellect and your brain and understand it's all mythological, astrological, allegorical, astrological mind. I mean, book that's teaching you how to control one's mind with lessons in life, not literally. Okay, it's esoteric teaching. And where we at? I want to get that in right quick. Use your brain and understand to learn about God. Right thing philosophy, again, is a spiritual truth that you can learn, master, and live by. And by doing those things, you will get the message from God. You will get blessings from God. And that will be your what verification that God exists in you. Why? Only He knows what you really need, and the blessing that you receive is what you really need. That's the true blessing. A blessing is something you already got bounded for. We got a bunch of money. Money ain't gonna bless you. You got a bunch of personal problem issues. A blessing is how they work out for you. Okay, those are blessings. Okay. Philosophy, mythology, theurgy, astrology, all are God sciences to what? Prove His existence to those non-believers or whoever you are, but you can state the case and make the point as I do on a regular basis. Now, as you think right, so will you what? Do and act right. And those things will get you to what? Know thyself. Oh yeah. There is no okay, here we go again with this. I'm explaining it to you one more time. Excuse me. There's only one God, no other God. But they all are emanations of God from air down to the physical human being, blade of grass. So if God told you, and everybody has conversation with God in their mind, but if He told you that He's a jealous God, He ain't God. I go with the I am that I am. That's more reasonable. But to say I'm a jealous God, yeah, no, I don't work with that guy. I don't trust him. Okay, I ain't got to tell you I'm the only right thinker. No other right. No, I ain't got to tell you that. I know that, and I ain't got to be something I got to be throwing around. Why? You find out for yourself. Okay, but that one guy who tell you that he's the perpetrator. I can tell you. They say it all the time. My man Morgan say, "Yeah, I got what they call a demigod." A person who think he's God. He want everybody to worship him. Yeah. I get all that. But the same philosophical concept. If you don't wake up and become conscious of who you are, you're going to be reincarnated. Your spirit going to keep going around and around again until you become conscious of yourself. That's how you purify the spirit with knowledge of self. But y'all say the soul snatchers want you to stay ignorant. Pretty much, yeah. But they doing it by purpose, on purpose. That's the matrix, the system. No, this is life. We keep adding on people. People just keep going and going and coming. Why? Because the reincarnation is still going and birth is still going. And enough of us going home to stop the population on the earth. That's just my concept. Why? A bunch of people, we dumb as a bag of things. So again, that's why. But don't blame it on the soul snatchers. No, blame your damn self for not what? Getting knowledge. We got a bunch of information out here. We're in the information age. Information being poured down to everybody. Y'all still ignorant of yourself. That's a you problem. You need to reincarnate. I agree 100% with that philosophy. Well, if you can't get it right, keep coming back until you get it right. God ain't allowing you up there in heaven, wherever else y'all going, Islam. God ain't allowing what? Y'all ignorant people in there. That's why he made the rules the way he got it. And if you pass the Fed as my judgment philosophy, you can go home. Until then, you be right back here too. So all that perpetrating you are, act like you are, don't mean jack. Why? At judgment day, the truth will be found out about you. All that what people think about me don't mean a damn thing to me. It's what I think and know about myself. That's what's going to count. There again, God knows He's God. He ain't got to tell you I'm God. So if you're taught to God, and my God talked to me in the voice that got my attention, wrestling body. That's a good psychological work on his half. Why? Because he got my attention. Wait a minute. Hold on. That's my dude. I'm all ears. Okay? And I took it from there. But God knows who he is. You need to know who he is. And all that questioning who he is, you should be trying to find out who you are. And then you know who he is. See where I'm going with that? Okay? Flip it. I don't use belief. Don't follow a belief system in any way, any form or fashion. Unless I have proof, I became an Egyptian philosophical principle follower because of what the questions I had, they had the answers. Okay, I'm with them. Why? Every question I got, they answered, and I'm good with that. So I'm doing, if I'm wrong, okay, I'm suffering the fate of everybody else who did it. I ain't got no problem with that. My mom said, if everybody's on the bridge, you're going to jump too? No, but if I find out what I'm doing and I want to do it, I'll do that. If we wrong, I'm just caught me wrong. I was a drug dealer. I know I was wrong. I did it on my own free will and accord. So doing what I'm doing this again, my own free will and accord. Anybody twisting my arm? Anybody threatening me? No, none of that. Okay, so I'm doing it. I'm excuse me, kindness of my heart. Okay, my karut. I'm honest with you. And if I don't do the belief thing about nothing, I need proof. And God gave me enough proof to what? My allegiance and devotion to Him. That's what I do now every day to try to help you do the same thing. Why? To be blessed. You want to live forever? Or you want to keep coming back here? And when you come back, it ain't you. That guy, gone. It party's over. The spirit of him, somewhere else now. Somewhere else, reap the benefits of the stuff that he did. I hate to be in his skin. That's sad. Don't do that. All right, excuse me. Personal. The art of self mastery is to what? Know God. That's sorry, I get a little animated. That's the whole purpose for yourself. You don't need to be told about God. You don't need to be preached to about God. I go to church to get lessons biblically, but I know God for myself. And I go to fellowship with people who believe they know God for themselves also. So they know, well, I don't know my God. No, 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 no. We fellowship. That's what I do. And I deal with God daily. I'm just God on Sunday. No, that's the ritual that y'all Christian and y'all, faith belief followers. I just go hang out with y'all on Sunday. Believing in God is child's play. That's the first level. And it's not God science. It's just a belief. God science is put into the test. Mhm. You believe in God, pray and see what He answers your prayer. You believe in God, do good deeds and see if you get blessed. You don't, do bad stuff and see if you get blessed. See the concept? But God, if believing in God is not being God conscious, okay? That's not God science. But it's more being God ignorant. And most religious people are just that, ignorant of what? God, but they follow religion. Claiming I'm this, claiming no, no, no. What you doing, how you living. If my pastor didn't walk that walk he walked at the stuff that he taught, I wouldn't be following him. And I'm saying follow him. I trust him. Why? Because he showed me he can be trusted. That's all. Moving on. And if you're gonna do that, find somebody. If you're gonna be a right thinker and don't trust me, don't waste your time. It won't work. If you question everything I say and do, I ain't got time for that. Good leaders lead. You want to see if you're a good leader? Start something and see who follows. That's all. Moving on. I got over 4,000, so I'm all right. Moving on. I think right, and that's why I know what God. Why? Because I live lessons that I think that I learned, and I get rewarded for that. Who does that? If you do right, you also will be rewarded. To make a difference what religion you profess. I tell you that all the time. It ain't the religion, it's the deeds. So if you're doing good deeds, you should be blessed on a daily basis also, if that's the way you're living. And if you're not blessed on a daily basis, that means you ain't living right. But I'm this, no, no, no. You can be what you want. It's how you live it. That's where the blessings come from. That's my point right there. The work. The belief in God is not nearly enough to what hold those egotistical believers to do what? Keep them from doing the wrong thing. Pastors stealing money. Pastors sleeping with the congregation. They religious, but are they held accountable? Yeah, but are they doing it? No. See, simple as that. The religion don't keep you upright. Okay, religion you follow, but your integrity, your understanding does that. Your moral conduct. If you got no moral code, you got no intestinal fortitude, no integrity, no self pride and respect, you might do anything. For what? If you practice right thinking philosophy, aka Maya philosophy, you are holding yourself accountable and responsible for whatever you say and do. Do you do that? Christian, Muslim, or Jew? I don't know what, but as a philosophy, I practice that. Remember and understand this. I tell you in the beginning, every action I read has an opposite and equal reaction, aka we call it karma. Oh, yeah. I told you. What's it's karma? There's good karma. Yeah, we call it blessing. That's all I talk about is the blessing. Why? Because you do the things I teach you, that's what you receive. You do the things that you've been doing, and you will get karma. The proverbial visit that what this is yours here. No, this is yours. What you thought you got away with, what you thought nobody knew about, this is yours. And it comes at judgment day. So all that does what? Make one's heart heavy, guaranteed to fail. That's how I know. Okay, let me take it home now. Appreciate you tuning in. You might want to start reevaluating your lifestyle. Why? Because if you're still doing that nonsense, I just gave the heads up on it ain't gonna work. That's why. I know God exists in me. Damn it, I can see that. But when you know that you and Him are one, ooh, that's self-knowledge. That's what's gonna get you what? When this, if He can, if Grim Reaper came right now and said, "Let's go," I ain't kicking, screaming, fighting, hooting, and hollering. Why? I know my heart. I got a lesson for you come up. Why? My house is in order. If you got knowledge of self, all you Christians, they had at the time of death, was this house in order? Don't go home, look and see it. No, was this house here in order? The heart. All right, mine is. Is yours? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Well, I know mine is. Let me wrap it up again. Appreciate you tuning in. I know God exists in me. Why? I know. How you know? Because I mastered what? Myself. And I found who I really was. God. Did you? Tune in. I can help you do that. Put the stuff I teach you to work, and you find out who you are too. Goal is to what? Know thyself. And what knowing thyself is knowing God. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go. Right thinkers, may you all this be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I've never known my right thinkers who now understand right thinker philosophy is God's science and passed away. Master the science.